Everyone thought they knew Dylan Harper's story, just another coach's son riding daddy's coattails. But what happened in March of 2025 left NBA scouts speechless and changed everything we thought we knew about this New Jersey kid. The truth behind his meteoric rise will shock you, and it all started with one devastating moment that nearly ended his career before it began. Dylan Harper grew up with a target on his back. When your father is NBA champion Ron Harper, every coach, every scout, every hater assumes you're just another nepotism baby. But Dylan had a secret weapon nobody saw coming. At 14, he was already 6'6", with handles that made varsity players look foolish. The whispers started immediately. He's only good because of his name. Those whispers would soon turn into stunned silence. Don Bosco Prep has seen talented freshmen before, but nothing like this. Dylan didn't just make varsity, he dominated it from day one. Division I offers poured in before he had even finished his first semester. Georgetown and Rutgers were calling, but Dylan knew something they didn't. He wasn't just playing basketball, he was plotting revenge against every doubter who had ever questioned his bloodline. The real shock? His own teammates didn't see it coming either. By junior year, Dylan was averaging 24.9 points per game and collecting bodies. But it was one specific game that made scouts realize they were watching something supernatural. Against DJ Wagner's Camden Catholic team, ranked number 2 in New Jersey, Dylan dropped 36 points like it was a casual Tuesday. Wagner was supposed to be the state's best guard, and Dylan made him look like a JV player. But here's what nobody knew. Dylan was playing hurt, and the injury was worse than anyone could imagine. Behind closed doors, Dylan was battling something that could have derailed his entire future. A nagging shoulder injury from a brutal fall in practice had team doctors concerned. They recommended surgery, but Dylan refused. Instead, he did something that shocked even his own family. He changed his entire shooting form overnight, learned to score with his offhand while his dominant shoulder healed. That kind of grit doesn't come around often, so if stories like this fire you up, you might want to stick around, hit like and maybe even subscribe. You never know whose rise we'll be breaking down next. The results were devastating for his opponents. March 2024, Jersey Mike Arena, the state championship game that would define Dylan's legacy. Paul VI thought they had a game plan to stop the Harper kid. They were about to learn why that was impossible. Dylan didn't just win the game, he obliterated the competition. 26 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and a 56-29 massacre. His own coach called it a movie on social media. But the most shocking stat? Paul VI's entire starting 5 combined for fewer points than Dylan's score alone. Every top recruit's dreams of playing in the McDonald All-American game. Most are just happy to be selected. Dylan had different plans entirely. Co-MVP of the McDonald's All-American game, the first Rutgers commit in history to earn that honor. But what happened behind the scenes was even more incredible. Dylan had turned down a massive overseas contract just days before the game. Why would a teenager walk away from guaranteed millions? The answer reveals everything about Dylan's true character. Duke, Indiana, Kansas, Auburn, every basketball powerhouse wanted Dylan Harper. The recruitment was so intense that it literally split his extended family down the middle. Cousins stopped talking, uncles chose sides. Then Dylan shocked everyone with a decision that made no sense to outsiders. On December 6, 2023, he announced that he was staying home to play for Rutgers. The basketball world erupted. Critics called it the worst decision in recruiting history, and they were about to eat those words. While everyone debated his college choice, Dylan was quietly revolutionizing the NIL landscape. He became Fanatics' first ever high school signee, making a deal that insiders valued in the 7 figures. But here's the twist that no one saw coming. Dylan negotiated a clause that would make him even more money if he stayed loyal to his commitments. It was a bet on himself that seemed insane at the time. Wall Street analysts called it either genius or career suicide. Dylan, he just smiled. Rutgers fans expected Dylan to be good. They didn't expect him to be transcendent. 19.4 points per game as a freshman, leading the team in scoring while making everyone around him better. Then came the Alabama game, ranked number 9 in the nation. Alabama thought that they could intimidate an 18-year-old freshman. Dylan dropped 37 points on them and walked off the court like he just finished a warm-up drill. Social media exploded. Suddenly, everyone who criticized his college choice looked like fools. And here's where Dylan's story takes its most unexpected turn. In early 2024, mock drafts had him as a potential late lottery pick. Good, but not special. By March of 2025, something had fundamentally changed. CBS Sports, Hoops Hype, Sports Illustrated, every major outlet now had Dylan slotted at number 2 overall. Not number 10, not number 5, number 2 in the entire draft. What happened behind closed doors that caused this seismic shift? The answer involves a secret workout that left NBA scouts speechless. 3 NBA teams requested private workouts with Dylan before the draft declaration deadline. What they witnessed in those closed gyms was beyond anything they'd expect from a 19-year-old. One scout told Hoops Hype that Dylan moves like a wing, but plays like a guard, with lefty Cade Cunningham vibes. Another called him potentially all-NBA level if his jumper continued improving. But it was the third scout's reaction that revealed the truth. We're not just looking at a lottery pick, we might be looking at a franchise player. When NBA analysts start comparing Dylan to Cade Cunningham, other draft prospects took notice. Cunningham was the number 1 overall pick who immediately transformed the Detroit Pistons. Just imagine if Dylan had that same ceiling. The whispers grew louder, mock drafts shifted dramatically. Suddenly, Dylan wasn't competing for lottery position, he was challenging Cooper Flagg for the top spot. And here's what makes it even more shocking. Dylan's best basketball might still be ahead of him. Big Ten Network analyst Raphael Davis tweeted something that went viral instantly. Dylan Harper will be the best freshman guard to play in the Big Ten since D'Angelo Russell. Book it. The tweet exploded across social media. Basketball Twitter couldn't stop debating whether Dylan was being overrated or undervalued. Highlight reels of his dunks and clutch shots circulated endlessly. But the most telling sign? Rival players started following his social media accounts obsessively. December 2024, Rutgers vs. Seton Hall. The Calabrese Classic. 3.2 seconds left. Rutgers down by 2. Dylan Harper catches the inbound at half court. One dribble. Step back jumper. Swish. Game over. Rutgers wins. Dylan walks away with the MVP trophy. The arena exploded. Fans screamed. Teammates mobbed him. But here's what made it special. That exact shot, Dylan had practiced it over and over since he was 12. Same distance, same pressure, same release. He didn't hope it would go in. He knew it would go in. Most college freshmen struggle to score 10 points a game. Dylan? He posted a triple-double against Columbia like it was a scrimmage. 16 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, and he barely looked tired. It was the first triple-double by a Rutgers freshman in more than 2 decades. Reporters called it historic. Dylan called it Tuesday. That was the moment scouts started paying serious attention. Until then, he'd been known as the son of Ron Harper, a 5-time NBA champion. People expected him to be good, they didn't expect him to be this good this soon. For most players, carrying that kind of family legacy would be too much. Dylan used it as fuel. Before every game, he puts his dad's championship ring in his gym bag. Not because he thinks that it will bring him luck, because it reminds him of what the goal is. He doesn't want to be known as Ron Harper's son. He wants to win his own rings, build his own path, earn his own respect. By the end of the season, it wasn't a question of if he would go pro, it was when. March 31st, 2025, Dylan officially declared for the NBA draft. Nobody was surprised, but the reaction from NBA teams caught everyone off guard. Within hours, 3 different franchises had called to schedule workouts. Analysts moved fast. Most ranked him as the number 2 overall pick. A few even argued that he could go first. The buzz was real. Coaches, reporters, former players all said the same thing. Dylan had the mindset, the skill, the work ethic, and he had been quietly preparing for this moment for years. While most kids were learning to shoot, Dylan was breaking down film with his dad, learning defensive schemes, understanding how spacing works, watching how veterans move without the ball. He trained like a pro before he even got to college. Every drill had a purpose, every move had a counter. He didn't just want to play in the NBA, he wanted to be great. And that's what separates him. Not just talent, not just athleticism. It's the obsession with doing everything right. From footwork to decision making, to how he watches film. Nothing is random. He doesn't chase the spotlight. He doesn't need to. The game speaks for him. Dylan Harper might be headed to the NBA as a top pick, but the real story isn't how high he gets drafted, it's how far he's willing to go once he gets there. And if this past is any clue, he's just getting started. Every drill, every workout, every decision was calculated to reach this exact moment. The overnight sensation was actually 7 years in the making. Why does the NBA still love Adam Sandler more than some of its own stars? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like and share if this blew your mind, and check out our last video to see exactly why. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.